Hey guys, how's it going? We are doing April 2026 overviews. You obviously know who the sign is before I do, so welcome into the space. Let me go ahead and see who God has called forward for our second read today. Oh, dude. Why did the first two are our moon signs? Because we're Cancer. Let's get it right now. Cancer. Let's get it right now, Cancer. No, because I woke up and I have a lot of my emotional centers revving up at this time, and Cancer is in my 4th house, so obviously my sense of home at these high degrees of Uranus and Taurus, and just having Uranus in, some of these more internal waters for me has been a lot, because I am obviously expanding outward and I have to collapse and rebuild a new framework, which involves like all of you, but also like involves changing all of you as well. So anyways, Cancer, the energy that I woke up with this morning was just like really emotional, really a lot of like auditing. But I think the theme of this reading, since you're the people that I'm like in this energy with reading for when it happens, I feel like the energy is really honestly about just like genuinely no notes is exactly what I woke up feeling, which is like you're at this place where the throat chakra, whatever has been suppressed your entire life, like whatever you don't say because of your fear of consequences, I just feel like you're like it's over. It's like no. It's like no. No, we're not gonna do that. No, we're not going to do that. No. Yeah. Because I think, this morning I woke up and I was like, yeah, but what's really healed me is I've said a lot of things. I've done a lot of things. I've made a lot of commentary about a lot of things. But the one thing I will say is like, no one has shot me dead yet for saying how I really felt about stuff. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, one of the things that I feel like I always face when it is that I have to say my whole truth, the entirety of it, and I really can't care too much about the rest, is actually in fact that like a lot of times my spirit guides will come surround me right after a moment of vulnerability like that, or just honestly like bravery like that, and just be like, you don't actually understand this in the moment, but people are actually really grateful that you just, even if they're like at the center of your critique, I just like, Cancer, and you girls know I've been really trying to re-heal y'all self-worth, because I hate to see the way the girls have been doing y'all. I hate to see that for you, because there's too many girls out here, non-gendered obviously, trying to, you know what I mean, Cancer, so anyways, but yeah, it just is one of those mornings for sure. So let's just get into April. It's not really an overview, so I'm not gonna like be doing the week by week, but I just, this week with all the Aries movement and I just feel like we have to historically, or like, whatever the fuck, anyways. So let's see where we're at. Cancer. Wow, okay, so this is like actually hilarious and funny, because I opened up and I was like, well, I knew whoever I was reading for was going to be the sign that is in the energy that I'm currently in. So right now the energy I'm dealing with is like stuff that's in my throat chakra that I'm like, why do I feel like I shouldn't say that? Why? Because of desirability politics, because I want to be liked by you. Why? Because, you know what I mean? Why? Because of socialized, dogma, because of what? And I feel like you've been auditing all that. Like you've been auditing like the treatment. I just feel like you had, and this is what I just said, you have to let something spill, a truth, Knight of Swords, a sharp, fast, quick, initiated truth, because it's about you healing. It's about you putting it to rest and healing. It is. It's about this. People are going to know, Cancer, for right now, you have to be in that space. You have to be in that space where it's like, I cannot care about matter of fact, it's not even that I can't care about the consequences of my act. No. There will never be a consequence for expressing your truth when it comes to you and God. You may be attacked, they may come for you, there are evil people out here, absolutely. But the root of like, would your creator punish you if you were telling the truth? No. And that's why God really wants Cancers to look up instead of looking to people. I think this is another really huge thing for you guys, because I just really see like you're putting your own nail in the coffin. Is this not like putting your own nail in the coffin? Look at you. This makes me think about that Mac Miller music video where he like, he's like in the wooden coffin, buried himself alive. It's like it's literally it's just you, and he's a Cancer moon, so it's like that's you right now, where it's like actually you're happy to do this truth is like, I'm actually just gonna put my own dead body in this shit. Actually, let's just go ahead and lock up that. It's really giving that, because it's just like motivated by the authenticity of like who you are, and like putting and spilling. I just feel like you're about to spill something that you know it's about to end some shit. You know, because it's almost like you don't want to be in this shit anymore. It's like you have Cancer. It's you girls. We know how long we have been working together. We've been working on this whole thing, but I just think it would be most important to put to rest the little meat mill that's in the coffin. You know, that old version of you where Cancer was just a nurturer. Like, I hate that for you, Cancer. I literally do. Like, I don't want you to be in a space where you think what you are supposed to be doing is pouring and pouring and pouring just to give to somebody else. What about you? And I feel like this nail in this coffin is telling you this is about the what about me part. Yeah, because it's some unfair, it's not authentic. I just feel like there's like a big, but it's like, it was not being authentic. It's like not even authentic. It's like, yeah, but I'm sorry. Playing this role for you and nurturing you is not authentic for me. So now I just see a lot of Cancers being like, I feel like there's a lot of Cancers right now who are like, I'm gonna just kill myself. How about that? Out of the situation, metaphorically speaking. Like, it's almost like, and what the fuck? You know what? Matter of fact, let's just test it. Let's just see. I'm gonna just take myself from this. And just know that. It's just like, I'm good. Like, I'm Gucci to just die to this narrative. Because it's just, I just think there was like a cycle where it was just like, you know you're hurting yourself. And again, Cancer, you might be on the low or the high vibration of things. But I will say, there could be like a lower vibration of Cancer is like really needing to be needed by people. And so what I think there's just like a big revolution happening in you, because if you have been maybe on, and I would say most of us are in the lower vibration of all of our astrological energy, because most people are relatively still like completely asleep. So there's no judgment, because we're not further than we are in terms of evolution, right? Like, I'm like the worst I'll ever be again in my life in terms of like healing and deliverance. So we're doing this together, but I feel like it's like, if you've always, the low vibration of Cancer would be like this deep codependency. Like, I don't know how to function if I'm not deeply needed like a mother. You get what I'm saying? Like I'm providing like the nutrients of someone's life or something. And I think like you are just having this really radicalizing, and I think it has a lot to do too with like Uranus going into an air sign. So it's like you're really revolutionizing the ways. It's you who's leading this. It's you who's being like, I'm gonna put a death. I'm gonna go murder that old version of me that had myself looking like a bitch. Like, I really just see a lot of Cancers that were like, maybe 7 months ago, you were really proud to claim your identity as a codependent, overgiving nurturer. Literally, I'm talking like within the last calendar year, you might have found yourself like really being like, this is it. And I feel like it was just the final form of like you coming to consciousness that's the opposite. That's actually the last thing you want to do. I just get this feeling of like, whatever it is you're creating is actually directly the opposite of who you truly are. I just feel like there's a lot of like, I'm coming out. It's like you're coming out by going in. Like, see what I'm saying? I feel like Cancers are going in on somebody right now, straight up. The authenticity, you're like, I'm coming out. That's another thing. Is this a side message, Cancer? I think some of you are also, there's a deeper side message too about like radical, okay, sorry. Okay.
Hello? Mm-hmm.
So anyways, there's a bigger, deeper, like radical message too about like,
oh, I put it it's in the closet. It's in the downstairs closet.
Ooh, the broom?
Yeah, it should be there, like
Sorry.
on the side. Yeah.
The broom is right here.
Oh, no, just the vacuum.
Oh, okay, cool. Anyways, so I also, just a side note about sexuality for you, Cancer. I think this is really beautiful. I see a lot of awakenings, because I think too there's a lot of Cancers that don't, this is a big moment, because I think if there are any Cancers that are navigating not like a closetedness, but a suppression of like the actual spectrum of like what actually attracts you. I think you're having a really big breakthrough right now. Like I could see a lot of cancers, you know, like every queer person when they were like, yeah, this is at this certain point in my life or this stage in my life when I was still like closeted, I used to like have girlfriends, or you know, it could be a gay man being like, I back when I used to date girls, or like I used to do whatever. And it's like, I think there's something correlating right now where you're realizing like, I'm literally seeing like, it's almost like a lesbian when they realize like, oh, like there's some lesbians that like life gets so crazy they like birth hella babies with like hella men, and then they realize that they were always so comfortable with like the man just like not being in the space that they didn't realize, and then they maybe didn't have enough experiences where they could just like like explore their sexuality in practice, or they just haven't been exposed to like maybe someone in the proper gender identity that actually does find them attractive. So it's like you then, so it's because of all that limited, because it's just like, oh, what's around or whatever. And a lot of lesbians do this. I know this because I was like the OG fucking lesbatron, okay, bitch. I went to a fucking all-girls school for 7 years. I was a fucking drumline captain. Like I just did butchy shit. You know, I just did lesbian shit as a kid. And so I know the archetype because I was always cast as that just for what my interests were in general. And for always just wanting to be around women because I only felt like super safe in certain ways, like in that way. So this is a side note cancer, but I feel like this might be a big population of cancers. Like it's not even a big population, but it's like if there's a cancer that is having this experience, it would be literally the scenario where it's like you are now identifying that the way that they packaged cancer to be the codependent nurturer and played that role, like cancer's only being known as like being needed instead of like the original emotion, which is what you are, the original, the OG, the cardinal emotion, the cardinal download. Like you're getting the download spiritually, it's like you are getting that, right? So that's what you are, Cancer. You're the drop in the entire ocean that makes up the ocean, which is the power of the drop, right? The power of one drop of water ends up making the Pacific, you know? So it's like, that's you. And it's kind of a big deal, but when you are only compartmentalized for like your usage, it actually creates a lot of cancers who aren't realizing that like when they go through their awakening, they're going to be like, oh, pause. I'm literally seeing a lesbian who's literally talking about her life in retrospect and being like, oh, I had so many best friends who, you know, the two mom vibes, you know, personally, a lot of wonderful lesbians in my own family, where this was like their story, where it was like they did spend a majority of their life at some point in a completely different context, not aware of that, but more specifically, they talk about the ways they should have known. They realize, because I feel like when you're a lesbian, you're so chill. Because again, I feel like it's a closet that you're not even trying to be in a closet necessarily. I just don't think you know how much you really need to just realign to like what you're actually into. Because I think lesbians find themselves being in relationships where they like continually like, and again, this is just a bigger metaphor, but this is like the download. It's like they can like be in a relationship for like 30 years, like raise kids and stuff, and be like, oh wait, I didn't realize that I wasn't even attracted to that penis. I was literally just like, I was literally just living out the arc. I was just doing it, and it makes sense why it kind of read as dysfunctional. Like I feel like there's certain things that you cancer just like, so it can be sexuality adjacent. That's a very specific message for the cancers that are like having that awakening. It's like, oh, we should have saw that coming. Like that's gay behavior. You know, I say that all the time. I'm like, there's a lot of women who don't realize that they're gay, like they're queer in practice, and then there's a lot of women who are like, oh, like I'm queer or I'm bi or whatever, but they don't realize in practice like that like you're super gay, because like your behavior, like you be the type of bitch to get in a relationship with somebody and be super chill that it's just like basically like a arrangement. Like you're super, like lesbians be so mad comfortable with an arranged, oh for sure, because like they'd be like, yeah, we can get a dog and a baby, and then they'll just be like, yeah, we don't even have to do the, you know what I mean? You can just, so I feel like this truth kind of puts the nail into the coffin. This would be like, yeah, that partner that I'm with, like after this cycle wraps up, I'm not even saying the cycle wraps now, but I think you're getting the awareness now in April that it's like, yeah, once that partner is like not, like whatever is on the other side of that, you will realize like, yeah, that's the last time I tasted that chocolate, or that's the last time you know what I mean? Like I realize now that there was something deeply tied to my need and my desire and understanding of myself only being about being useful, and this big transition where it's like when you come into your honest authenticity, which I think is kind of like erupting like very linearly straight out of you kind of thing, or it's like a truth. I think you did something. It's literally like Cancer. It's like you did something and you told the truth that you knew, but just like it's like the type of truth where it's like it's just gonna in that. It's almost like Cancer subconsciously. It's not even a sabotage. Your subconscious mind is wanting to stop this. And I feel like there might be a lot of Cancers who were projecting. Like maybe you're looking at a situation where you're like playing victim, or maybe you feel like something outside of you is mirroring like a victimization. Like maybe Cancer, you're dealing with someone who's like delivering a truth to you that's like putting a nail in a coffin for you, but it's actually mirroring what's actually happening inside of you. So that partner outside of you is like mirroring what's happening inside of you. So when they're putting the partner outside of you feels like they're doing something that would just completely destroy what's happening, I think God is actually asking you to go to the higher octave and be like, no, I want you to see why. Because this is Cancer getting out of the duality thing too, where it's like someone's being good or bad, like, you know, the whole like hetero. It's again, I keep using heteronormativity because it's the type of prison that like actually just keeps us from the point of like ever getting any information out of like relational dynamics. It's like just like, no, you have to like hold it this way, and that's like such an unproductive way of doing things. Anyways, like Cancer, like genuinely, I'm seeing Janice Ian, like it's just because I have a big fat lesbian crush on you. Like I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I'm just seeing that type of IDGAFery, where it's like there's this moment where it's just like, oh, that's the symptom. That makes more sense. Because I feel like you went through a tilt-a-whirl. You went through this like swordsy shit back and forth, and then I feel like what it boiled down to was like you got delivered a peaceful truth, which is like, oh, we just fought like cats and dogs because I'm a lesbian. It's like something like that. It's literally like, oh, that's why we've been breaking down this every time on the time. Because I actually don't even like your shit. I don't even like you. Like it's something like that just brings you butt naked. And it really, and like I said, maybe get around some lesbians and really just like think about that for a second, about their plight, you know? And because like a proper, like get you a boomer lesbian, and they're gonna help you with this passage of time right now, because they're gonna just tell you how much crazy shit. Like you might look at them and be like, you look hella lesbian now, right? You're super acquainted with your truth, but they can tell if you looked at like their old. I feel like Cancer, you're in that place right now. Cancer, let me just say, whatever cycle you're wrapping right now, your new chapter is just gonna be complete. Is not gonna be anything like you've ever lived before. That is exactly what I'm just 2 cards in 17 minutes. It just never. It's not gonna be like this. Anything that you've lived up until right now, it will never be like that again, because everything you've been living up until right now had to do with this role that you just put a coffin in, that you just put the nail in, because you don't want to play that role anymore. Because this is even like responsibilities where it's like I get a lot of like, I don't want to be doing the partnering with the other subject of the partner, and it's almost like whatever the shared weight of the agreement was, it's like you're fine doing your part because of how liberated, you know, like, oh, this is literally like, I'm not, back to the oil and water just don't mix. We talked about this Cancer. It's like, oh, I was never broken. We weren't really dysfunctional. We really don't got no business. It's not even just like we didn't have no business together, we're misaligned, but I think you're getting the root of why you're misaligned, and it's coming through this kind of really sharp, you said something that just kind of put a nail in it, or there's just a truth that's kind of like, that makes sense, or there's like some, like I said, there's some habitual behaviors that you're having that I feel like God's like, it's kind of gay, you know what I mean? Like it's like that type of shit where it's like, I feel like maybe you need to do a deeper dive on like the shit that you're doing and what that's actually classified as. Do you get what I'm saying? I just feel like that's the most important thing. Again, we're talking about queerness right now. I'm not calling you girls lesbians. I'm saying that will really help you understand what is happening right now, where it's like, you got to look at yourself clearly in terms of like what you actually participate in, and then accurately define what that is. No more of the Delulu land where it's like, because I just see a lot of Cancers, it's like the lesbian who was like, I swear I thought I was a great wife. I had 4 kids with my husband, and like I've been a butch for 40 years now. Like it's like I totally raised kids, we got them through college and stuff, but like that is not my truth. And I just think you see that now. You get what I mean? But let's keep looking. Let's see what's crossing this nail in the coffin truth. What happened here? I'm so curious, Cancer. Oh, yeah, Cancer, yeah. This is such a safe, straightforward message. You were ready to put the nail in the coffin because you don't want the burden of this. You don't want to be in the closet. You don't want, it was burdening living like this. Like you didn't know, you weren't really discerning anything because you were still living out the role where all I am is just burden, broke back Sally. Oh yeah, I'll just, because when you were doing stuff like that, when you were volunteering to, I just hear Cancer, you were taking on all the hard work. Like you would always just be like, yeah, I'll do the life altering, spine cracking work of it all. And it kind of just like puts you in this Two of Swords position. Two of Swords has everything to do with like, we're gonna eyes closed just swinging. This is someone who is addressing a burdensome situation completely based off of feeling. This is incredible. Cancer, this is the type of schizophrenic episode I'd like to see. Let me tell you something about you girls. Me and you, locked in twin. Because why? Because this is someone who's like, I don't know which one of you motherfuckers it is, but I'm about to. That's what's happening. This is like, I don't even care. I've already deemed that everyone in this room right now that I'm about to spray these bullets in could deserve to die if they really were the one who crossed me. So this is walking in and spraying the bullets and being like, whoever the fuck gets shot and dies, that's the nigga that had to go. It's crazy. It's a reverse psychology way of figuring out who's the runt in the litter. Kind of funny vibes. Let's see. I love that for you. You're applying that pressure. You're applying the pressure. The pressure. Oh, yeah, hell yeah. Because you're so into finishing this. I'm telling you, you're in your... Maybe you should join the Shisha Knights. You're in the brotherhood. You're in the fraternity. You're kind of acting like you're acting like pretty fratty right now. It's kind of a fratty time for Cancers. I'm seeing because you're so interested in... You're like, I'm going to take my one wand. I'm about to do some... Spirit wanted to say the word fuck, but I'm gonna create a little something because I think you're trying to call the wounded evil, you're trying to call whoever is really, whoever, okay. At stack, so it has to do with who you were mixing with. There's a judgment. Let me see what we got. So judgment, okay, let's just read it live. So here's the little mini message that came out. So here's who you were syncing, and this is people that you were saying forever with. Judgment Day comes. And Judgment Day is not good because your souls get called forward. So you probably experienced Judgment Day, and now you're kind of left probably in this aftermath feeling where it's like, a lot of shit got exposed. A lot of us are just kind of bare. Our souls are being bare and exposed. So I don't really know how to navigate that. Then comes time for the Chariot, which means like both aspects of you, now that judgment has been relayed, which is the truth of your soul has been relayed. Now you have to do that kind of inner work where it's like, well, if that's my soul's truth and maybe I'm new to that, like I have to figure out how to get both of these aspects of self, light and dark, to get on the same page. So then there's a big confrontation for you because I feel like this entanglement is what I want to call it. This sort of lifetime entanglement that you were really you were literally going to let yourself play out, that I just don't think, I think the astrology, the Aries, 7 planets in Aries is going to it's going to be like, no. Is not gonna let you do it because it's almost like, well, for example, let's just use the lesbian analogy. If the judgment comes out that I had an experience, because this could be like someone, I don't know, maybe you had maybe you swore to God, you were like, no, I'm for sure straight, I'm for sure love my spouse, I for sure love my kids, and then you meet someone who just like brings you like, you're just like mad attracted, like it's like, sorry, I don't know. And it's like an awakening. It's a sexual awakening. It's like, let's say that's happening to you, right? But once you have that sexual awakening, which means that confrontation where it's like judgment. So it could have been like, I saw somebody, I wasn't even trying to go nowhere. I was just having a random glass of organic wine at the fucking wine bar on a Tuesday. In walks this woman, and I've never had this happen to me before, but I don't know. And then one thing led to another. We made out, now I'm fucked. Because the real thing that you're fucked about is like, did I just do all that? But then also it's like, the Chariot, immediately after that moment happens, you're kind of having to confront like, so that's who I am now. Oh, that's what I really feel. So it's a little bit of that. That's more important than like what external damage you're causing, because it's just mirroring that. It's like, are you finally ready, Cancer, to like have both sides of yourself committing to putting you on a path that is going to support all aspects of you? Yeah. So if there was a heartbreak or a breaking, because this is a breakup that has to do with spiritual truth. So I think Cancers, I also want to say, I think you've been overly focused on your partner's spiritual truth. Like you might be overly aware of like their evolution. And so again, there might have been this like feeling of like victimization where it's just like, I just sit around and support someone else's evolution. But like, if your partner is deeply evolving, just know there's always, you can go just as deep in your own self. So I feel like this is a lot of like, this Aries season is going to put a lot of your attention back on yourself as it needs to do. But I also just feel like when this is like your truth, the partner in question's truth, and the truth God has, all three of those come down at one time and pierce his heart to see if it bleeds. That's the test of the Three of Swords. So you go through that where it's like, okay, because I just think something karmic as fuck. This is kind of karmic as fuck. This is like Judgment, the Chariot. This is like someone pulling up, and it's like a test by God, because this is a test that God might have probably set up to incite this type of change, because it's like type of shit where it's like, okay, maybe God really needs you to realign. Maybe God needs you to just go towards liberation altogether. Maybe God knows just how fraudulent and off the blueprint you might be in this dynamic. And so what they're going to do is they orchestrated some event where it's like you had a truth. I just feel like you and whatever your partner did or whatever, it's like both of you are in this nail in the coffin energy, where it's like you're both having to say your pure authenticity or express your pure spiritual truth. And it's like they're both being clashed. It's like happening now in April, where it's like, okay, your spiritual truth dumps in, my spiritual truth, and then God's word on it comes down all at one time. So a little intense, all at one time. Do you see what I'm saying? This is a very high pressured, like, I think this is like all mounting. And it's a big creation portal at the end of the day. I just don't know how great this might like feel for you in general, depending on where you are. But like I said, I'm reading for a lot of my girls where this is just, you're totally gonna feel this because this is the general vibe where like either way you're feeling a refreshment where it's like nothing in terms of identity that I was contributing to before is actually accurate, simply because if I literally in my origin, in my spirit thought like I was just here to nurture the situation. I'm not here to do literally anything else, literally other than like nurture somebody or something. If that is literally what your rhetoric has been subconsciously up until this point, that is not the rhetoric moving forward. And that's just going to create a completely different life. But it's the reason this had to happen. And I think you're actually, like I said, you're feeling like me. You're really calm to be kind of schizophrenic. It's like the most grounded schizophrenia you've ever let it rip. Yeah. Because it's about God, and you're so calm in your spirit because it's like, God's like, no, this is about you being able to actually be able to give and receive. There's just a big message about like, are you letting yourself receive? Because there's just like getting stuff in life, right? But I think that's the problem, Cancer. You've been getting stuff in life that doesn't actually nurture your soul. So you might even have 10 wands worth of stuff. It's like you keep creating a bunch of stuff, but I think that's kind of what the issue is. It's like the reason you wanted to put a coffin in this is like, okay, dude, we have so much. We have the world looking at us. We got our bills paid. We got all this shit paid. And it's like, and this is like the person who gets that that life crisis where it's like, if this was really for me though, there's no problems here. Like, I think this is like one of those situations where it's like, you're being given it all just so you can see how you're not cookie cutter. Like, I think you achieved a sort of, in your world, how you would define like a cookie cutter reality. I think you achieved that. And then you got in that with whoever's in your community with you. And you guys are like, dude, this is not good though, because we have it. Maybe you have the like spouse dynamic and the kid dynamic, and you have the whatever, and you have what you want in your reason, and all this stuff. And it's like, so if this was really what we wanted, we made it. We're here. And yet everybody's still depressed in this bitch. That's like, I think you're just asking them really realistic questions. I think it's just so obvious that it's like, wouldn't people who are really on this, like, I'm just using the heterogeneous, like, if I was really straight, wouldn't this be dreamlike? I'm just literally seeing someone be like, for example, I'm dating the hottest man. And yet you see what I'm saying? It's like almost like, you're dating the hottest man, and it's like, but I'm not. If that was the case, you're having like that kind of internal dialogue. It's like, but if what I had was actually the best of the best, no cap, no filler, and it is actually that. I feel like in life, it's proving you have it all. But I think the having it all is someone else's have it all. And I think you're just deeply understanding that, where it's like, this may not be my everything. You get what I mean? And I think you realize that just because it's like you already arrived there. I think you just arrived somewhere mad early, and it's like, and this can be high vibrational because this is going for every Cancer, right? Every Cancer is going through that. So if you're high vibrational, you arrived somewhere and you understood. I had to I went on a long journey the last Uranus and Taurus, changing everything about my home life so I'm not needed in my home life, just so I could be free in this new Uranus and Gemini to go spread information properly, but honest information. Because if the Cancers followed me and let me help heal you and you're back in your private, you're in this place right now where it's like that feeling of you're getting it all right now. Like you have it all, you have it all, but you have the all that you would have wanted. So I see a lot of Cancer. The only fulfilled Cancers I see right now are the really avant-garde ones, are the ones who are really living a freakazoid life, who are already really settled in, like, you can tell they have it all, but they have a very specific them type of all. Like it's not a general, they have it all. The Cancers that are like resonating with this message are like, oh no, I totally had that whole coming out to myself where it's like, I don't even like any of that stuff. Like I used to be the type of person who was like, letting myself just be a nurturer would have had me like doing some stuff or playing roles or participating in something. I'm like, I don't really feel that deeply about this actually. So when you come to consciousness about that, I think you go to that place where it's like time to, yeah, pretty simply put, like create something. Like it's time to just be like, because I think you're just deeply realizing like, oh, the universe could never, I feel like the reason you, I also want to say Cancer, you might have kind of become it could have been a lot of struggles with entitlement. But I want to help you with the root of why you were struggling with entitlement, all right? And when we talk about entitlement, it's about thinking you have a right to a certain level of resources all the time, and then kind of like being angry, like, the fuck, why don't I have this? Like, that's entitlement. So when you get to that space, it's actually deeper. It has to do with you're misaligned somewhere that you shouldn't be, and that's why it can't give you are 100% right. Like every person wakes up on this planet is like, I know what I deserve back, because you have you know everything you gave. So I feel like Cancers are like, I'm giving, I'm serving, I've been serving. And I think you were even like I said, you said something that like put a coffin in it. I think you might have said, I'm not gonna be like, I mean honestly, I don't know if it's like a positive vibe. I don't know if it's like a nice thing that you said, that I think it really it like broke the heart. But I think there's like a lot of higher wisdom that immediately came from you kind of being a little bit on your Knight of Wands, like, I'm just fucking say this. But I think you're quickly realizing that whatever you made it about third dimensionally, it wasn't really what it was about. It really was about this deeper thing where you have probably a lot of built up resentment that this thing that you feel like every day I come in, I clock it, it's not adding up. Because I feel like Cancers, you were kind of possibly being unfair to someone, because I don't think you understand that like when you make your misalignment the other person's fault. So like it's going to be really easy if we can't accept that both of us are in the wrong place right now. It's not I'm going to say this to you, it's not just your partner who did you dirty, or who's in the wrong space, or who's like not, you know what I'm saying? Even if in the situation third dimensionally it was like because this could be someone who's like, oh hell nah, I'm done with you, because maybe you're seeing that someone only gives you like, you're seeing a spiritual truth that's like, I'm not dealing with that, and then it's rooted in like how much you're like everything. I think you're valid, bro. You're like, look at all this stuff I've done. I'm telling you, I heard like spine breaking. I feel like some of you have nurtured people in ways that altered your life. You took on new personas, you changed everything about you just to accommodate this thing. So I think that's why you're not feeling super stoked on having to put a nail in a coffin that I don't know, because it's almost like I said, it's you that it's a version of you that you're gonna have, you kill. It's like it's done now, because that identity isn't even being done anymore. But I think, again, I want you to, because everything we go through in life is about how we're going to evolve, right? Like, even if I get raped, right? It's like the whole thing that I walk away and have to keep doing after that is like, I now have to figure out life moving forward. So a lot of times Cancers, listen, you know, I love you divas down. I love you divas down more than you know. I don't feel safe in a lot of spaces without my team. I really don't. Not emotionally, no, I don't. But I will say from the divine that it's like I see it. I feel like you've been having this kind of like little bits of like Knight of Wands energy, like where you're just kind of like, you're kind of just like too impulsive. I think all this Aries energy is kind of making Cancers like a lot of like, you don't even know. And I think you're catching it too. You're like catching yourself. You're much more evolved than you used to, where it's like you used to just really like run emotional programs strictly, you know, with on the people around you. Whenever you get in this kind of experience where it's like, I think I'm just dealing with the discomfort of like not being where I should be, or not being aligned to what I should be aligned to. Yeah. But I think you had a lot of resentment at something that you put a complete into, because it's like you were getting mad at it. You have a lot, I mean, it's valid, but it's misplaced because it's actually a self-forgiveness thing. Like, you're upset because of really just like how much time you've invested into this thing, and probably because of how like hard the investment was or how much it hurt. But this is a really big lesson in like putting all of that energy and investment into yourself first, and then that's going to probably be the fastest way to assemble like a partnership that reflects equality. Because I hate to say it, I think this is probably like not one of the funnest vibes, because it's like, this is one of those times where, you know, God is also telling you the other party it's not their fault though, because we're talking about, this is like, these are like partnerships that have to come apart. That's why maybe God told me to do the lesbian thing, because like it's kind of like that. Like it's a breakup that happens because it's almost like whatever the spiritual truth says, it's about who someone is. So it's not something you wouldn't cuss your partner out because they're like, hey, I just realized like I'm lesbian. There's a lot of people who have that story to share where they're like, yeah, I was with my partner, and like, and maybe you have a future together. Like maybe someone's like, oh, that's okay, that reflects like some of my sexual, but maybe you don't, right? And so then some people have a lot of stories. Now they're showing me Kris Jenner. Like, you're about to have, you and someone else you're around are about to have it was like Caitlyn and it was what is her name? Kris and Bruce. It's supposed to be Caitlyn, Kris, Corey. It's like that. It's like the way that this thing is like, it's something that's like, it's like, I'm seeing your tea kettle is boiling hot, but it's like, you can't really be like, for whatever the situation is, it's like, it's just like, it's a spiritual truth. So it's like, and if you are someone who's diverging at this time from certain paths, and there is some sort of like, well, fuck it, our identity's over, well, I guess we're done with that. Like, it just, maybe don't do the Aries like rage out thing, just because it's just like, we're like on a different spiritual tip. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, because, and the good news is, the great news is, it looks like God really set you up with like you know exactly where to go get equal give and take now after that experience, because you're stronger now. And I think, again, the other great thing is this experience was recycled. You wouldn't also look at that person that you got this deeply into all of this spine bending with, because it was light. This is someone who was on your soul's path. It was a karmic situation. You were supposed to come do this dance, but I think the actual truth is like, you were supposed to be done with this. This is the last time you're going to be going back and forth with this energy. And that's great, because again, you really want to make your way over to sort of that like 10. Okay, yeah, total completion. You're no longer ignoring, like, you're not ignoring anything. You're not ignoring the prophecy that's the truth since you were a kid, the God ordained truth about what really brings all the milkshakes to your yard. Okay, let's look at your recent past. So thank you guys so much, Cancer. I love you guys. Let's see. Recent past. What happened here? This is so interesting. Yeah. So the last cycle, like I said, this was you being materialistic. This was like, you learned a really big lesson in the recent past about the look of it, how it looks to have the night. This is like a steady life, Cancer. I'm so excited for you, because I don't want you to have a steady life, dude. Like, I don't. Like, I told you guys know my best friend Mercy. Like, she didn't do well, because there came a point in her life where she thought she just had to put herself in this like sort of black and white, like, I just gotta play a role. Bless her heart, she was like a late stage millennial. So like, she just had this kind of like millennial approach to shit where it's like, yeah, I'm needed to do this and this and this. And I think as soon as she got her Cancer ass in that space, it just, it was just gonna call on some sort of God shame, because it's just like, it's a lot when it's like, security was like what was, I think you really needed security. I think, to be honest with you, Cancer, in the past, you went through something. You had to tame your own inner beast karmically. I feel like your own disobedience, or the ways that we can rebel against God, the sort of wild, untamed part of yourself, you really went through some experiences where you were receiving a lot of that energy, like sitting with, the ways in the past where you just really had to iron out some of that sort of raw wildness. And I think that's why, I think also in the past you probably thought, that's why I feel like your attitude with towards yourself was just like, I need to refine myself. Like, I think you think like, I need to be more polished. And so I think you went through this route because I think you sought out this partnership, because it was like, oh, I need you would make me more polished. You would make me more, whatever. And that's not really the case. Let's see what's crowning. Oh my god, Cancer. Okay. Cancer, this has been really eating you up. This is my like least favorite combination card because this is just mental anguish. This is the point when someone does do this. This is how it bubbles up because you've been so in your head about something, but I mean to really say this. Cancer, I think you've been really projecting your honest truth, and I am holding space because if you are someone who like is really struggling to say a truth to yourself about you, you'd be in this situation where it's like you popped out trying to put a nail in a coffin on someone else, but the root of it is so clear, which is just like you haven't, you know what I'm saying? Like you're kind of like going, because I think what you're kind of not realizing you're giving away is like maybe with like in your partnerships is like some of the things that you've kind of revealed about yourself to your partnerships kind of gave away that they kind of had an inkling like, I don't actually know if what I'm in is actually even like, it's a little concerning because this, I'm seeing just kind of some Cancers where it's like some of the things you're partnered with, it's like, especially as a side note, especially like romantically, like someone kind of really overstands by like the way they've been observing you recently. Like the things you hold on mentally kind of scream like, I don't know if you even really like the stuff you say you like. Like I think your partner might just be like, do you even? Because I think at some point your behavior gets so bajiggity. Like I'm gonna tell you guys, like my next door neighbor's parents, growing up, it's like this kind of dynamic where it's like dad slept on the couch every day, but it was like to him, he would literally verbalize, like he was like, oh, I just hate our bed. Like I hate our bed. It's like, okay, so then the normal couple that's like straight would probably go get a new bed if the bed was so uncomfortable that dad had to like sleep on the couch for 30, 40 years. You know what I mean? It's like that. And so I think you and this partner, it's like, we're getting to this place where it's like, dude, we kind of, because Cancer, I think you were also doing the like trauma bonding, home nesting thing. I just get nest vibes. Like you've been like nesting, like you've been this little nest of like emotional like trauma. It's like me and my nest, but it's like in you guys' nest, you guys kind of developed all these really bizarre, I think you think it's liberating. I think you guys were like lying to yourselves and telling yourself like, no, this is progressive. This is us like taking it. It's like exactly what I'm thinking. It's like, this is us like taking it. Like this is us being like, you know,
right.
Like no, we're liberating. Like, oh no, dude, like we opened our relationship because you know it's 2026. It's like you're telling yourself stuff, but then I think you and your partner might have like just spazzed out on the beat a little too far to where it's just like we're reflecting where it's like this doesn't say that at all, and it's not even appropriate for us to be so unstable internally because we're not telling the truth about what's actually happening here, which is like, because again, this is a lot of spiritual truth. Words are not matching your actions. I just feel like Cancer, there's words that had to come out that have to do with the spiritual truth of the situation that finally put a nail in the coffin so people know like, okay, so what's going on here is not, you know, like for example, I'm just gonna use the thing. It's like it can be a married couple where it's like on the inside of the marriage though, like they don't sleep together, they don't do this, they don't do that, they don't go on dates, they literally just, you know, they just like split the shit and whatever. That's not, so this would be like the day that like the external world outside of you guys realize it's like, oh, okay, so just so we're putting a nail in the coffin, they may be legally married or whatever, but they're not, it's not the legal marriage where they're like, I'm so passionate about you and you make me feel like I want to live life and you make me want to, you know what I'm saying? So in a lot of ways, there's like, I think the problem though right now is you already did the route of trying to salvage it. Like I think you guys already had this moment where you were like, okay, so maybe this isn't like a natural occurrence. Maybe like me and this thing are coming together because of some like contract and not really like nature. So then I think you guys did the adjustment. You were like, no, we'll just redefine it. We're comfortable here. We're good. We're Cancer. And you know, Cancer keeps its other, you know, close energy back. So you guys were just like nesting together, like changing all the rules of it. And then, of course, the universe is going to play you every time because at some point you are just getting into lying. This is a lot of lying to where you are actually really responsible for the ways that you like actually are like not telling the truth. So again, high vibrational Cancer, you skipped over this hellhole. You knew this is exactly what would happen if you didn't live honestly and go back and do this work in the past where it was like, stop playing victim. You're going through something that's about strengthening you. It's not about anything. It's like, I came here, I was kind of a little weak bitch, so I kind of do need to like whatever. So for my Cancers that G'd up in the past, you like, girl, in my head, what would I be? The cancers that are here highly, they're like, anything that immediately gives you anxiety, you're like, put a coffin in it. I don't even care. You're gonna be like me. You're gonna wake up this morning and be like, see, you can't even. The program is strict. The program is strict. I'm not even gonna let you put me in anxious. I'm not even gonna let you girls put me in my head. I'm gonna spill it, because if there's some deception afoot, I'm just gonna I'm gonna end it, and that'll get people to come forward for sure. But so I feel like for the high vibe cancers, that's what you did. But for the low vibe cancers, not low vibe, but I feel like for cancers that aren't actually in their power yet, what happened was, yeah, you've been kind of like hyper fixating on something that's actually a lie. Like, you're actually hyper fixating on this other thing, this like third party energy, because you just don't tell the truth. And you actually created this cluster. That's what I'm saying. You and your partner are kind of like, we got to stop this, because we're getting people. It's almost, I'm telling you, you're getting people outside of you to like have to do stuff and accommodate. This is very accurate, because it's like you've had people over, there's karma. It's like you've had people over the years try to like accommodate and understand what's going on, and it was always about how y'all aren't understanding us properly. Like, we're really like, you're not. That's what I'm telling you. It's like you were always like, no, like y'all don't get us. Like, you don't get us. And it's like, actually, you guys are just in a dysfunctional dynamic, actually, and you're actually just dishonest with yourself. Because you know exactly what you are, but you're just not telling the truth. But I think the problem is these lies have created they've gotten out, unfortunately, and they're starting to sprout. And I think you had to put a nail in a coffin and come forward with something, because it's starting to like spread all over these random places, and you can't manage it. You can't manage, because of cancer. This is also a big lesson in you're seen. You're valued, and like also you can't keep playing victim, cancer, because some of you cancers are living like lives with a lot of privilege. Remember we talked about entitlement? So some of you guys are like, this is like being a first lady or something, and then being surprised when people are like critical of you. This is you being like, I don't like that bitch, she always talking shit about me, but you're not taking the self-aware route. That's like, you're too valuable of a person to be this dumb, or you're too valuable of a person to be like it's not even that you're a valuable person, it's like you're taking a leadership position, so like if you're not gonna do anything with that, you know, other people who feel like they see you sitting on the pot but you ain't shitting, they're gonna be like, can you move then? Because you're not. It's a lie. That's what I'm saying. It's a lie. So it's like you have to get me. So let's see what let's see what the near future is. Cancer. And Cancer, let me say this. Let me say how your near future. Girl, that's what I told you. This is such a messy, crusty, dusty ass message in certain ways, but it's only because like your immediate future is Queen of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles. Huh? Cancer, this is a bunch of Cancers being like, girl, you're in your Tyler Perry, I can do bad all by myself. That's it. That's it. The nail you just put in the coffin that ended it all says, I can do bad all by myself. In fact, I'm thrilled about it. Because again, this is somebody realizing like, I kept myself, this is somebody being like, this is you, Cancer. Maybe you're the 70-year-old lesbian in 50 years who's like, and I let that nigga I buried that nigga's kids and I did all that shit with this motherfucker. And all you really would be happy to do is just to go off. And it's like the person who's like, if somebody would have told me the vibrator did the same shit, I wouldn't have even put up with all his bullshit. That's what I'm getting. It's like you put up so much bullshit that you ended up just having to put a coffin in it, the nail in the coffin with it. But it's like somebody would have looked at you and been like, baby girl, that's not a flex. I think you was flexing something that is just not a flex. Not a flex. No. It's not the flex you thought it was. Because I'm just getting the way that this thing was misaligned to you. It kind of gives like, because I feel like Cancer, you were in your ego, you were walking around like you were literally lying. Like the only person because again, I just get the root of this person is like the only person you've been hurting in this last cycle is literally yourself, because you don't even tell the truth about who you are. And again, that could just come from any sort of like, I haven't had time to sit with myself, or maybe I just haven't had enough like romantic partners that are in the gender identity that I want. Maybe I'm not comfortable there yet. I haven't gone and tried to like date like women for real just as hard as I try to date men. Like maybe you're someone who's bi, who's like, I'm bi, but I still only ever really date, and I know I'm open, because there's people in the sexuality space where like, I know I would like women if that happened, but they don't. But there's a big part of like, if you're gonna take your gay identity, you have to put adjusted. If you want to decolonize your mind and not be hetero, you have to also give yourself a chance, if you know you're attracted to a different gender, like to try to have the same things you let yourself have when you're just doing the hetero thing. Like if you will let yourself go really hard on Tinder dates with men, you should do the same thing with women and see if you get the same. You get what I'm saying? You should see if you get the same results. But instead, I almost feel like you don't put in the same effort to try for the other thing that's your truth. And so then you get kind of like, you're like, well, then you settle. You're like, no, this is the best I can get. And then I think the worst part is that like maybe you have something that looks like status. Like because this is the 70-year-old lesbian who's like, man, I had my man, he was a Fortune 500. It didn't matter because there's like a lot of karma because I think you're also holding on to something that is for something else, one, but also is kind of a big, it's like a leader. I'm just getting two people who are in a dynamic where it's like they're budding completely differently. They don't understand that there's a deep misalignment that they should really address now. It doesn't even matter. And I just see like you've been nesting together. You just keep nesting. But I think you needed separation and space to see that we need to put this in a coffin and stop doing that, actually, and just go with the independent, stable route. Because in the past, remember when you were still working on your innards, it wasn't, you were chasing that. I think in the past you were trying to get to the status, but I think you have gotten to where you want to get security-wise, to where you really don't need this anymore either. You don't. It's okay. I think it's just like it's okay. I just see this as something that really you and whoever your nucleus is, you guys are realizing like we need to like be more fucking accountable to. Like we're just like liars and we're not. And it's just a deep conversation of like we're lying to ourselves though. Where there's this like I feel like you have this exhausting, and then you really sat on it. You went to bed, you sleepy, crying, anxiety, and you really sat on it. And it's like, dude, what are we doing? Why? There's love. It's like love here, but it's like it's not. It has to be categorized correctly. It has to be categorized. It's like what the love is, because you can have the love of a friend or the love that you give because we've just like, I don't know, if someone's seen your vagina when you fucking give birth or something. It's like there's love that gets developed from crazy life experiences merging you together. But I just feel like this is just so this ain't that romantic Prince Charming, Romeo and Juliet shit that powers and creates your life moving forward. And I think you just really need that, or you just need to be free to just be to yourself, because I just think this thing takes up so much. And I just feel like there are things that you allowed yourself to sacrifice that God is really like, I did not want you to do that. I didn't want you to take on that responsibility just for this connection. I didn't want you to take on that sacrifice for this connection. Yeah. Page of Cups, Ace of Cups. I think as victimized as you might have felt, whether this is you, your partner, however this dynamic happened, it looks like you're having a really humbling moment because this is like someone who is navigating, like, say you're like navigating something like a cheating situation, like maybe you're in a monogamous situation and then it's like someone cheated on you, but like this is a situation where like God is actually the one who gave that person the other, because it's time for them to realize they're completely out of misalignment. Like this is when God kind of like is like gonna trigger something, because I think you're wondering like, what, we never used to struggle. Maybe it's you, like maybe it's like, I never used to, I'm getting 70-year-old lesbians, like I never used to have a wondering. I've never gone to a bar before in my life and tried to look at other people. I've been with this partner I don't even understand. I don't know what's happening to me. I feel like this is cancer. I don't even know. I don't know. Especially, like I said, if you didn't do this, if you're not strong, if you're not God's strength yet, you're in this moment right now, like, this is scaring me because the supernatural is taking over. It's because the divine is aligning soulmates. It's absolutely what's happening. And so because the divine is aligning soulmates, both you and probably your partner are getting like baited out by a bunch of stuff. And it's been like really hard to keep performing. But that's the whole point. God wants to disintegrate the performance. Yep, because you've been fighting it. You see this? Outside yourself? You've been like fighting off your own union. God's like, no, it's time for you to come into union. So you got to let go of the thing that is not your truth. And then you also have to stop. Yeah. And I think you both feared it. Like, you guys, I think you and your partner too, when you started realizing that this is karmic, both of you spiritually like just lied to yourselves and actually just feared it. You feared the ending so badly of what you had with the partnership that you actually ignored this, because this would be hard to ignore. This is like your actual soulmate coming to you because the universe put them in your face. And then being like, I don't want it, I'm scared of that. But you're only scared of it because you're actually just scared to end something you're already in, which is something you're also learning. You probably projected a lot of your feelings onto the thing that you do really want because you can't let go of something that you needed to let go of like a long time ago. You're scared to let go of something that should have been let go of. Cycles go. Again, I just get the people that maybe it should have been a Tinder date and it should have stopped there. But I feel like a lot of Cancers just, we're here, and I think the evidence of your life and how free it feels to you guys honestly on the inside is the judgment you're feeling. It's not judgment from the other external world. I feel like the opposite of that. The external world thinks, turn it up, I love this for you, Cancer, this is so great, oh cool. But they only say that because they're like, you're telling them this makes you happy, but then you and your partner are going home and it's like, we're not satiating we're not doing any, you know what I mean? I think it's really easy for Cancers to turn into bros with their romantic partner. I'm serious. It's very important for Cancers to stay. If you're cardinal at all, it's very important for you guys to have a very, 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 very high sexual attraction to your partner. It's pivotal. You really kind of got to be with an aspirational looking partner. I'm serious. And Cancer, I think a lot of you guys, when you approach like partners, you kind of go for the people. I think one thing that you do find charming or endearing are people that you can make feel secured and nurtured. So like, but I do think kind of low key Cancers, again, we talked about this. Don't be on your Selena Gomez. Don't be like, oh, he's ugly cute. Like, I'm literally seeing a lot of Cancers who are like, you're kind of like taking up space where it's like you, like, again, you're like, oh, it'll grow on me, or that's what love is. It'll grow on me. Like, my husband, like, it's like, you're like, oh, my long-term partner, I used to hate them actually when they were working in my office, like when I first met them. And then it's like, but the whole like ugly cute thing is like, now you're seeing that partner has gone through so many transformations too, where it's like, they're actually not even ugly cute. It's actually just the way you were perceived. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't even have, it's just misalignment that's making you perceive everything you've been perceiving. And I feel like you and your partner are kind of, more than anything, I think you had a personal profit moment, but I think now the immediate next thing is like, okay, we got to do some damage control, because outside of us, people have been going, we should feel a little more concerned about how much stress we've added on people's lives just because we lie about this relationship. It's like, it's like that vibe just because of that. Whoa, Cancer, you are completing a huge cycle, because I feel like the answer for you, Cancer, is like we've got to come out of whatever closet it is, because what pulled you out of this defensive, guarded, like I said, you were gonna try to just keep doing this, just be burdened by it, but God's like, I want you to drop all the burdens and the wounding, because if you drop your wounding and you heal, which I feel like you've done now, Queen of Pentacles, you're healed in terms of your security. I think the reason you were so drawn to this partner is because you knew they could provide you security that you were scared and unsure you could reach on your own. So you omitted all the things they didn't give you. Like, you may not even really have been that attracted to them, but they do really satiate the comfort part of you. But do you understand, Cancer? It's not good for you to go. You guys don't even really like comfort. That's a low vibrational. It's not even that you need to be around people who make you comfortable. You're a cardinal sign. But yet in your low vibration, you will really deeply mesh with people, or you'll think that's really sexy, that they just make you feel like in your own skin. But you're realizing now that's not fair to me or to my partner, because I think you kind of turned into a bro for someone. I'm not going to be rude, Cancer, but it is kind of like, if you're high vibrational, again, you overstood that. You already learned the karmic lesson of like, letting myself go, just kind of look like a wallflower and go to shit, is not going to help my relationship long term, because they will walk out on me. They're going to keep up with themselves, and eventually I won't be there. So there's the high vibrational Cancers that are just like in their prima donna, like, I was the baddest bitch in the room the whole time. I'm there now. So you girls know that. But my Cancers are eating this message because they know it's the truth. Cancer right now, it's like, I feel like you might, in this, you're a Queen of Pentacles, so you're like really secure in terms of survival. I think that was a scary thing for you. Problem is, I don't know if you're looking too good right now, because again, I kind of do feel like the makeup of the spirit is a little rough, because you're lying so much. There's just so many lies about who you are. And it's kind of like the situation where it's like you've definitely let yourself go, being in a partnership that makes you too comfortable. Like Cancer placements, strong Cancer placements, if they're in a codependent, too comfortable relationship where it's actually just about comfort, it isn't actually even like an active, like, he's so fine, or he's so, whatever. And with Cancers too, because you guys are the original feeling, you can really tell when a Cancer wants something because they know people want it. Like, oh, I know everybody thinks he's fine, I'm trying to, you know what I mean? You can really talk yourself into that. Like, someone can come up to you and your immediate impulses, which you should always follow. So the guy comes up to you in the office that annoys you and is like, I'm gonna take you on a date. You say no. You say no. Because it's just it really reads on you when you're disingenuous. It really does. And I just feel like it's very on the table. You get what I'm saying? But I think the outcome, Cancer, is like your Kundalini energy. What really makes it rise is also, honestly, like there's this deep sense of like, you guys kind of need Nine of Wands. Like this is both you, your partnerships closest to you, your interpersonal, deeply, like the people that you house, like home, you Cancer. Those individuals, it's like the only people that actually get your dick hard, your pussy wet, are the people that understand entirely what battles you carry. I feel like there's a lot of silent battles you were carrying in this partnership that you swear you tell people makes you feel so at home and so comfortable, and yet so funny when you go home in these walls, it's like I feel so isolated. I feel like I can't even talk to you about what I really go through. And maybe that's why there's so much third party energy, where it's like both of you and your partner are needing all these outlets from all these other places, because you're just not telling the truth. Look at all this. You're not telling all these truths that need to be told, which is like, dude, I think if we were really meant to be cooking and shaking together, wouldn't we be making each other feel a lot more seen? Like, I just think you're with a partner who, like, they have all this, it's, you know it too, it's like not new stuff, you know? It's not like this partner has a bunch of new interests or new hobbies. It's like they're reconnecting to themselves. And the more your partner reconnects with the truth of who they are, the further and further and further away from this illusion they get. You know, and the same goes for you. The more you start talking to this partner about like your whole entire life, not just like who you had to be to nurture them, or like who you became in the last 5 years just so they could think you were hot and cool and like lock you in so you could feel secure. It's like you're realizing like that eternal love is all that there really is. And me and my partner can't even go back but 3, 4, 5, 6 years. You know what I mean? You weren't born 6 years ago. A lot of people with the 2020, I told you guys, be careful with these 2020s relationships, because you guys are going to go way too quickly. A lot of the astrology archetypes of these years in the 2020s are like rapid, quick, fast development, you know, a lot of transformative energy. And so some of these relationships that your usual 2010s mindset of like, oh, I can just like be in a, you know, situationship for 5 years is not going to work in the 2020s and beyond. Because you might have this framework where it's like, this has always worked, or this is like a normal dynamic I've seen with people, but it's actually not in the 2020s, because there's just no foundation. And I think that's why I try to tell you guys, I started Tethered Studios in 2020, but that's why there's a 5-piece on the IG, because it's like, dude, it would be disingenuous to make it seem like my whole world is just this business that I've even arrived to. Like most of my family and friends, like Tethered Studios, they don't know anything about it because it's that new in my history. And so I think you're kind of realizing like we kind of look like clucks too. I just think there was so much performance and literal lies that you guys kind of look stupid now, because it's like we kind of just look dumb because we don't even, all this lying and shit, and it ain't even been, I just feel like it ain't even been that long. You know what I mean? It's like, it's been some, you know what I mean? And it's like, so anyways, Cancer, this is like an amazing message, but it really ends for you in realizing that like if someone can't identify the walk of the warrior, like the warrior within you, because all this 7 signs in Aries, it's going to be really important for people to like seek individuality if they're not in a free situation. And I feel like that's why you guys had this nail in the coffin. You did something that's just like nail in the coffin. They said something that's nail in the coffin, whatever it is. But I feel like Cancer, you really did some nail in the coffin shit that like, I don't know. I think you're kind of like, oh my God, what the fuck did I just do? What the fuck did I just do? Because it looks like you did something nail in the coffin because you were just, so you felt like I'm taking on all the burden, and then it's like someone just like laughed, like fuck it. And weirdly, in the near future, I think you're literally sitting there, like you're literally having this solemn moment. It's like, so this is having it all. Yep. Because I think you just exposed that. I think there's something you said. There was a nail in the coffin that you said because you really are just too exhausted. You're too burdened. The real reason this came out this way is because you're kind of taking on too much for you. I can't really speak to like if it's even with you and your partner, but it's like you're taking on way too much for you, which is why you would be out of character in this way. Kind of schizophrenic, kind of mentee B. But you kind of had this mentee B where someone was like, you hurt me in a way that it's like I'm freeing myself up to go have it. And it looks like they do go match that. Like I think someone was like, I need to let myself like go for real, see where this is. And I think they are going to match with that. And I don't think you need to be too upset about it. I just think the near future for you is really looking at like, I got my stupid little cake and I'm about to eat it too, because I have the car, the clothes, the family, the status. I mean, this is hard to Cancer, because this is also about you taking accountability that like you can't really be. I think Cancers are the ones who kind of do power all the rhetoric that's like, who wants to date a broke nigga? Who want to date it? Cancers, stop doing that. Stop doing that, because I think you guys do kind of perpetuate a lot of that narrative where it's like there's just like unfair, just kind of gendered language or like weird stuff where it's like, I can't be with no. But if you talk out of your ass and say shit like that, and then in fact you are kind of just like, okay, but what do you do? Like, I just feel like Cancer, you expected your partner, because you walk around with the rhetoric, to have all this credential. But the problem right now is like you don't got no credential, because your partner does the Knight of Wands thing and aligns, because after this whole, you said something that's just like, you can't. It's like, okay, well, that's a nail in the coffin. Because it's like, you were just too burdened, but then you knew you hit a nigga where they hurt, but this partner already knows that you're just like in your head. This partner already, I think also this Knight of Wands is like not even worried about it. They're kind of just, they're hitting the road. Like, I just feel like your partner has been out the house. They've been outside. You inside. This is like, you're in the dungeon and someone else, it's gotten so bad in this dynamic. You're in the dungeon where you literally can't even lie to yourself anymore. That's what I'm saying. It's like, you can't even lie. It's like, I'm in the dungeon. They're outside. They're ripping and running and living their life. So why am I in the dungeon? And I think it just comes to sitting down with it. It's like, yeah, but it was never about the material. And again, maybe that's where you and your partner really differed. Is like, you have different understandings of like how the material should manifest, or like what the material even means, because this partner is telling you everything that you can possess. So if Cancer, I'm just gonna hold you, this is the last thing I'll say. If you're one of them girls that's like, I don't even date, I don't even be going on dates with niggas who don't have, like, you know, I don't even be doing all that shit, I only want a man, or like even in jobs and stuff, it's like, I can only work somewhere that has like the pay that I like. It's like, it's entitlement. I'm telling you, if you have that entitled language, it's just like, this energy like already overstands what you're lying about. So they're very comfortable to free themselves to go, because it's actually not even their problem to deal with the fact that you lie about who you are. That's an individual thing. Like, they love you for you, I guess, but it's like they do also feel like there's not really any room. Like, it's almost like you've been getting really imprisoned because you're not even telling the truth. That like, it's like, this is a Cancer who's like, no, I'm happy our relationship is open, and you're not. But you are, because you actually know the real truth. It's like, maybe you're not even, you realize like, I'm not even in, this isn't like real love. You get what I'm saying? You know, it's like, I'm happy our relationship is open, but then every day you're like suffering because you're letting your partner go do that. Like, this is the Knight of Wands. Like, okay, great, I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna start my new beginning. But I do think that other partner, I think this comes to an end, because I think this is like literally someone who's like, didn't know that if you open your shit up to a polycule and then you actually attract the polycule, like, you know what I'm saying? You just, it's like that. It's like, you've been doing this for so long where you guys, I think you were just using new language. Like, you guys were just lying. So it'd be like, oh yeah, no, we're super swinger. You know, we're not squares. And then it's like, you do that for some months and months and months in time, and you guys have been in this dysfunctional, just, it's not even dysfunctional because like being polyamorous or being one way is any good or bad. It's just, if it's true or not, be poly if that's really true. Don't do that because society's telling you to. Don't be monogamous or don't get married unless that's really how you feel. I would tell everybody that. Don't sit up here and do nothing because you think you need to do that. Don't do that. Definitely don't do that. Because this is someone who's like, you can't even be mad, because I do genuinely feel like I feel like this is, okay, Cancer, this is another plot twist. You was telling somebody out your ass you was okay with some shit, and then they like, I think somebody comes home and they're like fucking thrilled. They're like, dude, that partner you told me to like invest in, they're feeling some type of way. We're gonna take it to the next level. And now you're sitting there like, because I think you only said that shit because, again, you're living a lie. So you're just trying to figure out things that would have like circulated the economy of love in the home. And then it kind of just actually just hurting your feelings. But it's not even like hurting. It's just like more self-hate stuff coming back to you. Things to make yourself feel like, yep, and I'm not pretty and I'm not enough. But you're not, it doesn't even matter if you're not enough for this person. They're not for you. If you're not enough for something, it's not even for you. I mean, Cancer, I'm saying it all the time. Do not sit up here and let some motherfucker run you into the ground, take your years off you, ruin your body, ruin your self-esteem, and the nigga not even for you. Huh? I'm gonna tell you right now, Cancer, a nigga, a man, a woman, baby, you still gonna be dealing with a human motherfucking being 24/7. There ain't nobody to get too turned up about. I don't care what somebody's status in life is. you learn through this cycle. Someone could be Hannah motherfucking Montana. You could be married to Hannah Montana, and you know the ins and outs that Hannah Montana is still a person. She can still be a fucking crazy bitch too. Like, even if the whole world loves them and they, whatever, you're still gonna have to go through the human shit. And you know that. It seems like you're disillusioned about this. Like, oh, everybody thinks you're the best. This is definitely about, you're learning a lesson about, you don't want to be like too mature with your words. I think there's several groups of cancers. For my high vibrational cancers, you learn this previous cycles where it's like, if I walk into a room and say like, oh, yo, I run a label, and you don't got that backed up, that's that shit that's going, there becomes a point in the cycle where it's like, this happens, where you're exposed, right? But then for my low vibrational cancers, it's like, okay, if I sit up here and I keep saying all this stuff and all these lies, like, I'm telling you, Cancer, I'm seeing you guys lying about who you are to get somebody's affection, to lock in somebody because you have security wound. But then it's like, what actually is ending all this is someone is like really off put. Someone is just like letting themselves go because it's like, dude, you've lied so much. I don't know what's true. And I just think this is like, someone's like, okay, lies. But then it's like, someone's uncomfortable because it's like, you lied, but the things you lied about, like, it's like the lies were selfish. Lies are always selfish, but it was really selfish because it's like, it made someone think you were more in alignment for them than you actually. And I'm saying it's like by a lot, like, because I'm saying you wanted things that you're not necessarily equal to in terms of output, because again, you were doing the gold digger thing, right? Maybe you have issues with, like, you saw parents, maybe your mother was like really like struggling with security, so she really went for love for money. Like, she's like, reminds me of my grandmother, Geneva, Cancer. My best friend, proper twin, gave me everything, all of my matriarchal whatever, but sis was married 12 times. And she's sitting on a comfortable fortune from 12 dead husbands. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's like that Cancer, but her issue is literally that. Like, she was born in a time and a place where it was just like the only way for her to get sovereignty was just to figure out security through like pimping these hoes. And I just feel like I feel like your partner is like, God is giving me my right to go find myself, to go create to go figure this out, because I just feel like you weren't really honest with me in the beginning about a lot of details. I feel like this is details about your spiritual truth. You were really yapping, saying you had the capacity. This is like someone going on dates after dates after date, really locking in a partner for long term, being like, oh, I love everything you do. It's so, because it's literally like the way that she was like, every single, like, whatever this person was into, oh, I love that too, I was like that too, or I've always done that too. And then we be looking at shorty like, you was never on that, like, because I think your partner is cool as fuck and they're known for what they're into. And I feel like when they came to you, they didn't do anything wrong because they were just thinking you'd be honest. But then because you have the security wound, you just started, and then you were also dealing with the karma. They're probably like somebody you had karma with, like you guys souls had karma, so it's like you probably felt the soul recognition, so you're like, oh. But then the first thing you did to build this foundation is, I'm saying, is this someone who's built you've created a whole reality with someone, but you only used lies to do it. Do you get what I'm saying? You like only used lies to do it. So someone's not even gonna let it be betraying. Someone has just been like, you are literally publicly humiliating me because these lies come out back to back to back. I'm Cancer, don't do this. I'm getting Cancers out here lying about basic government information. This is the type of shit where it's like, why did you just tell me your name was Michelle when your name is Gloria? Like, I'm literally hearing somebody look at you like, why the fuck did you tell me you were a Libra and you're a literal Cancer? It's like you would just be doing shit like that, where it's like, so your partner doesn't even know what to say, because there's obviously a lot going on here, but it's kind of just like, because I think this partner by God is being rewarded because there is a part of this where, like, I think too, you do know, I think I feel like you feel really guilty, because I think this is actually a good person. I think this is a good person that is now, their public identity probably will go down that they are some sort of third party shitty person doing backdoor shit that they actually never did, and they're actually really good people, and you actually have put them in this position where it looks like they've done something like go out on you or something unconventional, or now people won't even, like, I feel like this person didn't want to be known as someone who's queer, curious, or in some sort of a non-traditional relationship, because it's Queen of Pentacles. Like, when you get in their world, they want something very traditional. So I feel like you're feeling really guilty right now, and maybe there was a lot of pressure from people who really care about you, because they're like, dude, you have someone who's like a decent person, you know what I mean? Like they're a good person, and I think they really did a lot of accommodating for you. I feel like all these lies you were telling them this whole time, and they would just like go out of their way to like try to make you feel good, but then it was like you don't even have real feelings for them. Like I think when that person asked you like, but do you, because I feel like it's like there's a new energy, right? And the new energy, you know, your person was kind of feeling gaslit because this new energy really speaks to their soul, and they do all these things naturally, you know, in terms of Kundalini and sending their own natural energy up. And I feel like your person just felt so like bad about themselves because they weren't clear on like what was going on, or like why this other party that's not you, that's not the family that they're living and having and creating with you, is making them feel all these things. But it actually is rooted, you know, it just kind of comes back to that. I think they were just like, they didn't know that, like, you know, I just feel really bad. Like, this is like a lesbian just knowing every day that they wake up and they live with a heterosexual man who's really heterosexual, like who really does like, you know, it's just like having sex with someone who you know really likes you, but you are there for the other reasons, not for the, and that's why God would do something like this, where God just says, you go, you be free, you go find that, because I think this person is genuine. They wanted that from you. You know what I mean? They literally like wanted this to go inside of you. You never really wanted that. And I think you were so caught up in comparison and looking more stable than other people that you don't realize you might have really hurt someone. You might have really hurt someone. I think they can't unsee the way that your characters change, because it's like, yeah, but look me in my eyes right now. And you're not hurting all these bitches on the internet. You're fucking hurting me. I just feel like somebody is like going out and trying to get every little thing to accommodate your castle of lies. And they've been consistent, and they've been pulling their part, and they let you fall apart in the depression, the K-hole, the depression hole, and they don't even know, they don't even recognize you anymore. They can't bring you around anyone. You're kind of just like festering, and they weren't understanding it. Because like I said, I think this is a good person. I think this is a person who's just like, they were trying to do this shit with you, and I think they've transformed so much, and they're just not knowing how to navigate your lack of motivation, or why you're not feeling like yourself, or why all of a sudden it's like, we used to always go out, we used to always do things, and we don't do anything anymore, and I gotta go everywhere by myself now. And I just think this person, like, I feel like, I don't know, but I feel like they looked at you and they were like, you don't even understand, look at me in my eyes, and you understand, like, you have me out here. Like, I think this person's just self-value, they've had a big awakening in that, and they're just like, you know, I know how much what I offer is worth. And there are people whose heart I am breaking in the ether. If there's someone who's really, because if I'm finding out right now that this is all misaligned, then my bitch is in the ether right now, and I haven't even picked her up, and I have sitting here, I put a Bentley on your ass. I'm just hearing someone say, it's like you ain't even the one I'm supposed to be doing this in, and I'm emptying the clip on you. That's the thing though, and we don't get these resources back. So the clip has been emptied on somebody. So the checks are gone now. We don't even have the money that I was supposed to have for my reel.
So you gotta pay up.
So yeah, you have to pay up. Yeah, we going to pay up. Somebody is gonna, guess who's going to jail tonight? Yeah. Who's gonna post my bail tonight? Like, cause hell no, this is fighting words. I'm serious. Your person is looking at you like, and I think it comes down to another issue is like they looking at you like I think the most unattractive thing about the disillusionment of this very toxic dynamic is that you were just on different maturity levels as well, which I think is hard. You know, I think you really got to care. I think you're in a heavy space because you really got to, this person, like I said, this is like a shisha night. It's like a brother. It's someone who's just genuine. It's like someone who I feel like they took on a lot of responsibilities for you. They took on a lot of burdens for you because they were trying to be accountable. And I just feel like they don't really know. They know that they have whatever's shared with you and the assets of life that are shared with you, and they don't even, because it's not like you hate each other. I think it's just like, again, it puts a nail in a coffin on this being something we revisit as romantic. I'm not seeing any love here. Only love I'm seeing is someone has to go somewhere else to go find it. So this relationship dynamic has like no near love. No, like, there's no, so this is what I always tell you guys. You can't be calling someone your girlfriend when the information with girlfriend is that you guys have sex together. If that's not happening anymore, that's not what that is. you know? And I feel like that's what's happening here. It's like somebody is like, I want the right to take the title off because we're not, that's not what you're doing. I feel like your partner has realized that whether it's husband, whether it's wife, those things have different definitions than what you guys are participating in. And so they're coming to you being honest, like, I feel like we need to redefine, we need to recontextualize this. We need a different spiritual lens and definition for what we're doing here, because we're telling the world it's one thing. And I think the world is responding negatively to us because they're just evaluating. If you're going to say, like, for example, if I'm like, this is my husband, people around me in my life are going to be like judging how well he's doing the husband thing. That's always going to happen. That's inescapable, right? And so this other person's like, dude, people are looking at how bad of a wife you are to me, and they're like confused, you know, but maybe it's because it's like, we're not defining this accurately. We're not being transparent about what's going on, you know, because if I say wife and someone else who has a wife is like, they might be like, oh, so I guess you do what me and my wife do. And then I feel like your partner's sitting there like, nah, me and my wife definitely don't do what y'all do. And I think that's what I'm saying. I just feel like, you know, this is just a crazy ass message. It's like the best message ever. Okay, Cancer. Because it was about time for Cancers. I think we just needed this water, just Jesus Christ. This is a long-term dynamic for you. Cancer, this could not be any more true. I think another thing about this, karmically, you're this person who's supposed to end this. It's your karma to end this. I think the other person doesn't have the karma to end it because they never lied. Do you get what I'm saying? Their feelings, even if they've transformed, evolved, whatever, what they told you they wanted from you when they met you, they genuinely wanted. You were the one when you met them that did not want what you were telling them you wanted. So that's why now God had you in this corner for the last several years being like, it is your job. And it looks like it has only gotten heavier and darker because the relationship needing to amicably end is your karma. Because you were going to try to make it in, but I think you were going to do the toxic thing, Cancer. I know a lot of Cancers who have this toxic trait where they like try to break up with somebody else when they're the ones who like desecrated the relationship. Not cool, right? Don't try to be like, I think we should break up after you had already cheated on somebody. You know what I mean? It's like after you done liberated yourself to do that, like no. So I just feel like it's kind of like Knight of Swords. Like, it's like, no, you have to tell your honest spiritual truth and you need to put an end to this and you need to say, this needs to end because no matter this is like, you need to put, there's a truth, your truth that you need to share to put an end to a dynamic because somebody needs an answer from you. Why am I so burdened by you? And I think they're lethal about it. I'm not going to hold you. This Aries 7 planets lining up in Aries, your partner might have some smoke for you. They might have some smoke for you. Yeah. Some accounting. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're going to be looking at the numbers. They're going to be crunching them. Because it's not looking good. Being that entitled, you took a lot from someone that you didn't pay back. And I think you knew. You might be leaving this experience if you're in this lower vibration where it's like, you could be looked at as the greatest manipulator of all time. Because this is exactly that. You know, someone is just like, you sat here and let a good person with a good heart just provide for you just because of lies. So it's not because you're not capable. It's not even because you're that burdened by like what's going on in your life. You just don't tell the truth. And you let someone like, yeah, I think you know that this truth would put a nail in the coffin. I think that's why you didn't say it. And again, the truth is like, most gold diggers aren't like, they're not like what you would think. They're not like, what's her face? That New York socialite that was like, did that, like, what's her name? Anna, who like did like large scale fraud and like pimped out everybody in the New York socialite scene for years. It's not like you went into like being a gold digger in that way. Like being a gold digger, sometimes some of the worst gold diggers are people who just never had security as a child. So they literally, it's not even like you went up to someone being disingenuous, like to be like, ooh, I'm trying to get a Birkin out of him. No. It's like, you really just want a tax bracket you've never seen before, but that's not fair for someone to take you there. You get what I'm saying? Because it's like, let's just fucking use, I don't know, Justin Bieber. Like, Justin Bieber has had he went from Toronto, Canada as a single mom kid to where he is now. Okay, so say Justin Bieber was like famous and it was time for him to start looking for partnerships. honoring himself would be like, at the very least, it doesn't have to be that everybody he married to the female version of Justin Bieber, no, but it would mean that he has to be with someone who understands how much he's actually done to get where he is. So because when you get to providing for someone else, you only provide from which you want to provide. So it just seems like a lot of like people deal with like gold digging dynamics because you just want someone to stabilize your life for you, whether it was and a lot of it I think with you guys is like you had an unstable childhood in some way, so this partner, you kind of just drafted them in a very Cancer. I just think that there's a lot of liars in the Cancer collective that lying is something you struggle with. Yeah, because lying's not funny. Lying's not even normal. It's not safe. It's not a good thing. It's not something you should be like, should we just like say a lot? No, you should really not lie. That's why people get raped. It's like not a good thing. It's like don't do that. There's nothing to lie about. There's just literally no reason. It's already hard enough to tell the truth. It's not funny. It's not kitschy. It's not interesting. It's not helpful to not really have clarity on like what's going on because someone is just like lying around you a lot. And I feel like you've just been dealing with a lot of that internalized guilt. I think you feel really guilty. I think there's a lot of guilt and shame associated with this partnership. And I think your partner at the end is like, it's definitely, you know this, and God is telling you it's definitely not going to be this person's job to do anything in regards to how guilty or shameful you're feeling inside. I think you know that is all your own. I think that is all something you know is deeply personal to you. It does not got anything to do, like how bad you feel about yourself has nothing to do with your partner. I would just definitely say like you know, this is definitely one of those times where it's like, let's use this as an opportunity, Cancer, to like make sure we develop much better character. I'm sorry that, you know, childhood may have been rough and that there were not the ordained things in place from the people that you came from in order to help you reach your highest timeline. But you have today in this now moment, just like all of us do. But this type of abusive behavior is not appropriate. It is abusive to lie. It is. Nothing good comes of it. And I think you are just in this place where you kind of need to fall back and be silent and just allow this person a chance to really, they're really in a rush right now. I think you definitely put them in a position where they're kind of upset because it's just like, I really have to try to go rush and try to figure out a way to approach this thing and explain myself, and you're not going to be able to help me with any of that because our chapter is closed and we're just kind of basically dealing with the post-apocalyptic frequency of like whatever we share together. And this is just a lot. So, you know, thank you for, I just really see like someone was really, I think is also Cancer. Sometimes you kind of get so sick and sadistic, you think other people lie as much as you do. So you were I think you were also kept going up to your partner who's a great person and you're like, you're lying. I know you're not telling the truth. And you know what sucks, Cancer, is like sometimes when you go up to people and you're like telling them like, you're lying. Yeah, but what if the person is like, I'm not lying? Like you ask somebody like, did you cheat on me? And they're like, no. And you're like, I don't even believe that. I think you turned into that partner. And the person was like, I'm not. I'm literally not doing anything. I literally claim you. I literally protect you. So this was a projection. Again, Cancer, don't get into that place. The low vibration of Cancer can be like projecting what you do on someone else. So you're cheating emotionally, mentally, physically by just like not even actually being in it. I don't even think it had to be that you had to go find someone else, but you might have actually said at the beginning of this reading, it's like you had an encounter that maybe exposed you or you did something super out of character because it's like this truth that you keep lying about that had to come out at some point. But it really is just about the ways that it's like you're cheating someone out of their right to have an authentic connection with someone. It's what the wound you gave this person is a hefty one, because you realize that they're gonna walk away from this feeling complete, like their self-esteem is really not gonna be what it needs to be able to give somebody something. Like I think this person's kind of sad because the way you've wounded them, they didn't have that wound before you came in. And they got to a lot of personal heights. And so now it just sucks that they're going to go find what they know will probably be much truer for them, but they're not going to be able to give that person an untainted version of themselves. It's like they gave you the untainted version of themselves, and they're about to go give their real lover a fucking sloshed up, shitty reputation version of themselves because they was fucking with you. Cancers. Okay, girls. Okay, girls, let this be a lesson, okay? May not even be just romantic relationships. It may be just like partnerships, whatever you partner yourself with in general. But lying about how you feel about someone, like being a frenemy to someone, like even if this is Cancer, like you work with some homies or something, and you work with your friends, or you do whatever, and you just don't, you've always resented this person, you don't actually like them, you just like that they made you see it, it would come out at this time. That it's like, dude, you were always sabotaging me, huh? Because you wanted what I had, huh? And this person is just like, brother, I actually fucked with you. You never fucked with me, but I actually fucked with you. And so that's the thing. I think somebody's just like, okay, this isn't gonna work for me though, because I was being dead ass. Cancer, I think you really showed how sociopathic you can kind of be. Like people, I tell you girls this all the time. I expose you because I don't want the life you live, but the way you got there is like you can kind of be like sadistic. You can kind of like disturb people with like how much you don't give a fuck. Like sometimes you can compartmentalize an emotion in your head or no, it's more like you can rationalize an emotion to yourself in your head, that you can allow yourself to be like Chris Brown, Rihanna, like Mars and Cancer, like I don't like type of crazy. And it kind of, I just feel like you have this partner that's just like jarred. Just kind of like, I just kind of saw a sociopathic version of you that I don't know if I can unsee. You know what I mean? Like someone has literally said to you, like, are you delusional? This is kind of delusional Thomas behavior. Like this is kind of like, have you lost your mind? Bitch, I was being serious about you. You're over here lying the whole way through, because I think you're lying about some stuff that's like, bitch, why would you lie to me about that? It's gonna hurt someone. Because I feel like the reason God is gifting someone a Kundalini activation directly after dealing with you means like you probably were like battering someone. Cancer, there's a lot of repercussions for this. Because if someone changed or transformed because of a subconscious abuse they were getting from you, Spirit's about to like allow them to like come back into their true Kundalini by making them realize like, oh wait, it's not that I needed to change all this stuff about me. I actually just needed the freedom to go like what likes me, honestly. Because I think this is like, I'm just getting a Cancer who's like having a lot of sex with somebody, and they're not realizing that you're having sex with somebody and lying about the orgasm. And then this person needs that sexual confidence to go on to whatever's after you, because obviously the lie's gonna end at some point, the illusion's gonna fade at some point. But now they don't even feel confident in their dick because they've been getting, say you've been with this person 10 years, right? And it's like the dick they've been giving you, the data they've been giving you for 10 years, all the orgasms were fake. It's like, if you were really a lesbian, then all that was fake. So now I don't have any confidence now. Well, I have to go literally out right now and go create. And it's like, I can't, let's never do that to someone again. You might have to see the next lifetime to pay that debt off. I don't know. But right now, that timeline for all Cancers, you knew that time would come. So you either were proactive before this point and have gotten yourself course corrected it, or you still struggle with lying. You know what I mean? And so I love you guys. I feel like we did an hour and 30 minutes, and I hope you know that's because I love you. It's because I really want you guys to heal from trauma and abuse. And you know, I'm always here. This archive is always here. If you need to feel seen for any experience of abuse that you've gone through, baby, let's chat. Talk to any past version of me, and let's chat about it. You know what I mean? Because yeah. So peace, love, and light. I think this is probably one of the biggest life lessons you will probably have on your lifetime. Like I think whatever this is like very dark, very heavy. Lives were really changed because of the lies you told, and I think that's the kind of corner you backed yourself into. So this is because for the high vibing Cancers, it's like you either overcame your struggle with lying, so now you've been on the self-love journey where your embodiment is there. So like what you say you do, you actually do. So like husband, Cancer moon, when he got past his lying era, he's had a nice fat 9 years to really just stop with the like cognitive dissonance. So he stopped saying like, I'm not gonna say I'm an artist and I don't make art, right? So now he's bridged that. Now I have Dolphin Boy Records. Now I can walk around and be like, I'm a CEO of a label. Why? Because I really am doing that right now. I do that every second, right? Cancer, this is a lot of like, you as a child, you'd be like, oh yeah, I've been there. Oh, do you know about this band? And because everybody else knew about it, you didn't. Oh yeah, I know, and you didn't. And that stuff's catching up to you now, because it's like, it started in childhood, the lying. You're in adulthood now lying, but in adulthood, a lot of people looking at you like, you lying about this whole situation the whole time, but it does affect other people, you know? And I think you definitely have to be prepared, because the divine is going to have you walk through and see all the lives you've really like affected, because there's just like no clarity. And the reason there's no clarity, it's like people are confused, because I think you are around a lot of like well-off people. You're in entitlement, which means you have resources and good people around you. So you know, those people, I just think you've left people with a lot on their soul. And I want you to really think about that, and think about a really restorative way to be more loving to yourself moving forward, because we can't let this situation or this reading repeat again. I'm really glad that I got to record it into history. I think this is something that will save a lot of people down the line. You know, a lot of younger cancers who may not know that this is something that they're dealing with, you know. But yeah, you're entering, and the good news is after all of this, it does seem like it kind of, like, let's just call it a duel, you know. I think everybody understands, because it's so deeply spiritual at this time, for it to be happening under this astrology specifically. It's something you're not supposed to come back on path. You're not supposed to, you really are supposed to like let this lie. So I think you're definitely letting things lie. And you will have to find a new language for how you move forward, especially if you have shared things with one another. But yeah, Cancer, I'm really happy that you've already this is you paying your karma for how much non-truth you've lived in. So that's good, because you know you don't want to stay in non-truth for the rest of your life. But yeah, I am praying for all the individuals involved. I know I have no judgment for you. I want to illuminate it with you, so that we know we can't have that happening, you know. So I love you. Be blessed, and I'll see you soon. Have a great April.